Greetings, viewers. Thanks for joining me out in the shop today. You can see right here the Tacoma has come back to get the air conditioning fixed. Now, if you remember when I did this swap with the 3.4 from the 4runner, the air conditioning is different. The 4-cylinder compressor didn't work, so I got to change that. And I got all new pieces for it, the dryer mixer, the condenser. I've got the 4runner lines. I needed signal from that pressure line to make the AC work. So I'm going to go through that and do all that, kind of show you just how to change yours if it needs it, or how to put it back if it's been taken off, like in this case. So I'm going to get that going. Now there's a small list here. Oswald's being so patient today. Not really. I'm here to do the AC stuff. She said the horn is intermittent, which I didn't try that before I sold it because I don't honk horns really. So I did not test that. Dash squeak, I put about 25 miles on this and I haven't found a dash squeak yet, but I'm going to look for that. And the light out in the climate control. So those are the only issues it's had. She loves the truck and enjoys it. I'm really happy to hear that. I drove it, like I say, about 20 some miles already, and yeah, it's really nice. I love it. She loves it. Oswald loves it. We're going to get started on some air conditioning stuff here in just a few minutes. All right, now to get to everything, I got to take this the grill out. If you remember from before, the fasteners are under the bumper. So I'm going to have to take this bumper off. A couple screws in the side, a little push fitting there. We'll get your side markers out of the way. Undo your fasteners up here on the grill, but you've got to pull the bumper. So I'm going to get started doing all that. And I'll be back in a minute. We'll fix that horn first and then move on to the air conditioning. So after you pull the bumper, which is just those couple bolts down at the bottom, take the screws out of these, leave them in there while they hang. I popped all the grill clips out and took the grill out. Now this has to come out. There's fasteners on either side. And this will have to come off to this centerpiece here. And your hood. And that can hang down there. I started messing with the horns. I didn't get very far. I think I just got a bad ground. I'm pretty sure it's just a power wire that goes to it, and then the horn grounds. These are kind of rusty and crusty, so I'm going to try the ground thing and see if that helps. Now once I get these lines loose on the outer ends out here, this will all fall forward. This is going to be changed and put to one in a different spot, but I could probably still use that. That frees it up big time. If I get these lines off, and this system is already drained and not even completely hooked up down at the bottom where the hoses were, because it had the wrong compressor to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these lines apart and out of here, and then I'll swap it all over to the new stuff that I got. I'll show you the kit and what all it came with. Now I'll just use a couple of fits-alls to take these apart, and then I can take the lines out. Getting the compressor out is going to kind of suck, but that's by far going to be the worst part of the whole deal, I think. Changing out all the lines isn't bad. I still have all the 4runner lines I need. Like I said, the condenser's new. You can see how now that just... Where's my cart? We'll just pull out forward. I may need to take the mounting brackets and... Come on, baby. Go. There we go. This is the Rock Auto kit that comes with everything but the hard line and soft lines. It comes, you can buy those too, but the kit comes with the condenser, the dryer, yeah, the regulator, whatever it is that's in there by the inside under the dash. It comes with the new one there. It comes with all the O-rings and everything you need. Looks like it comes with the mounting brackets and all. It's a little bit taller, but I bet you it'll fit in there. It's for 3rd Gen 4Runner, basically the same vehicle, so I'll have to test that for fitment. The one I have there for the Tacoma is good, but I don't think it'll work with the other lines. Let me investigate that. All right, I just, excuse me, just went over there and popped the hood on my 4Runner and saw how it mounts. It is bigger, but it does mount with the same mounts in the same location. This has got the places to hook up the lines. Those mounts go in here at the bottom. I'll have to take them off that other one. And the same thing with the top ones. Actually, I've got it upside down. That makes way more sense. Here's where it screws in the top ones. Here's where it screws in the bottom ones. That line just drops down below this. Remember here where the 4-cylinder one was smaller. I will get some brackets switched over and mount this first. I suppose that will be the first step for this part out here. And then we'll get to getting the compressor off. Okay, now these fasteners that came off the top of the one out of the Tacoma one's all plastic, this one's metal. These threaded into nut zerts in the back of the plastic part. Gotta just go to your nut and bolt drawer and get you some nuts for the back side, because they'll have to bolt on here. Once you get them bolted on with your nut and bolt, watch these lines over here. You kind of just fold them up out of your way now because they're not necessary. Hang on a minute, Oswald, I'll be right with you, sir. Oh, taking your toddler to work every day. I love him while he's a puppy. Just thread this in from the top back. Bring your horn wire out in front so don't forget it. Take you one of your fasteners. Yeah. And another one. Woohoo! I'll go ahead and tighten those down. I'll have to get make something here for this because the plastic ones won't come off. I'll go ahead and bolt this up now. I'll start running my lines. Bring over my used lines, put new O-rings and stuff on. I'm gonna maybe take that air box and stuff out. All right, now I'm gonna have to take this bracket here, which is behind the water or the overflow jug, which means I have to take the battery clamp or the battery hold down off, but whatever. That goes underneath there and tucks behind on the 4Runner. Looks like it's gonna maybe have to run in front there. We'll work all that out. This will go to the top of the dryer mixer. That'll bolt here from under there. Then I've got this line here, which is the one that has my pressure switch that the 4Runner harness needs to get a signal from to make the AC work. That'll bolt up and come out through the hole down there and go to the dryer next to this one. Then over here I've got the two good lines that came off of the 4Runner. This one goes to the firewall. This one goes to this piece out here, right? But anyway, yeah, that's that right there. I'll show you when I get there. The sun started coming out. It's really warming up today. So nice that it's short pants weather again. I tell you what. So I'm gonna get this bracket off. I said it's bolted through studs from this side, so I got to take the overflow jug out and the battery hold down off. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. That's not going to be too bad. That's just slid down on a little V-shaped thing. Bam. I think there's a spot on the other side for this. I'll go look at the 4runner again and see what's up, but I know I'm going to need that. At least it's not going to work over there. Put this back together. Just make sure that gets caught on its little catchy thing that it wants to sit on. It does have a nub and a rubber washer that goes through at the bottom, so make sure you got that lined up proper. Swing this back over and put your boat back in. There we go. Get the right tool. Who else out there spends more time looking for the tool they just had than they do actually working on their project some days? That can certainly be me. Here, Oswald, you can have that cardboard, buddy. That was my bad for not changing the compressor to begin with. One of those things I just got all happy because things were going good that day and overlooked that belt alignment on that compressor. All right, now I'm going to take the air box out just because this is already going to be horribly frustrating enough as it is. There's one bolt there. There's one down there. I got a little ahead of myself, went ahead and took those out. And one, yeah, right down, right there. Unplug your mass airflow, disconnect your cable from your doohickey here in that rubber slotty thing. And that one, pull this out. Oh, pull this out. Take the clamp off up there. You got to disconnect your hose here. I'll do that. Takes two hands. There's one here. There's one here. And that's it. This one's part of your power steering, so it's real important that you put it back, the part that bumps you up when you are turning. So I'm going to yank those off real quick. And definitely probably shouldn't be saying yank it off real quick. Compressor looks like it's going to be really tough. I'm hoping I can loosen up some power steering lines. I already got under there and pulled the skid plate off. So yeah, hopefully I can just loosen up some stuff and scooch it around and get that in and out of there. Alright, so just getting that box out of the way definitely frees up a lot more room. I got to take the 4 bolts out of the compressor that go in like where these are, where like that one is seized up in there like they get. But anyway, I take those out. Next thing I'm going to do is disconnect these lines. Going to unbolt them there and just remove them. That's the hard line there that I need to put in with the pressure switch. See it wiggling? It just comes out here. The other one comes off of the compressor, the line that runs forward, but those are the wrong ones. So I can probably get those off of there and get them out of the way. Unbolt up there, like I said, and then start getting ready for that dreaded job of the compressor. Alright, so these didn't put up any fight at all. They came right apart. They are the same fittings as my other hoses and that other hard line that I have over there. The bolts at the bottom are relatively easy to get to with your 10, and they come right off. They'll only kind of go one way, and they have pins how they fit. Can you see that? So yeah, they'll only go on one way. So when it comes time to hook that compressor up, I can't get them wrong. But I think it'll be a lot easier to maneuver around with all of the lines out of the way. There's some 3RZ AC lines and a 3RZ AC compressor that just doesn't matter. There is one wire down there. I mean, it matters to some people, but not to me. Unplug that one wire, that's all you got, and then it's those 412s on the 4 corners. Well, you can see them there. I'll get to those next. You know, I think I might be able to lift that up out this side even. We shall see when the time comes. All right, now fast forward ahead. I got 3 of those long bolts out. I used a long 12 and a 1-inch extension to get the top ones. It just gets you away from these lines. They're real easy to get to. They threaded right out by hand. The bottom ones I get with the shorty socket. They both twisted out by hand. Fortunately, the front one will come out, the back one won't, but it stays in the compressor. Now, don't forget that wire. There it is right there, and we'll get that real quick. All right, now like a lot of things here at Funjunkie Garage, this is my first time doing this, and I have to figure it out, but it doesn't look that difficult to fish that up out of there. Let me set the camera up best I can where you can watch over my shoulder, and we'll try to see what the best way is to get that out. I think maybe I didn't need to take that skid plate off after all, but that's okay. Now, if this isn't too big here, I could maybe between my return line and the frame and the right, but I don't think that necessarily is the formula, although that other bolt out of there to coming out, but post doesn't count in Toyotas. Only horseshoes, hand grenades, and jarts. I'm gonna have to loosen up the power steering pump and move it out of the way. Can you see down there these bolts here that have to come out? Ow! Don't smash your fingers. There's this one next to it. It's nice to see nothing's leaking on here or anything. I did go around, give all the valve cover bolts another little snuggly. I took this out on the interstate, getting it here, and drove it around some. I'm very happy. It's very nice to see it holding up well. I'm glad I was able to get my hands back on it and get a good look at it. Well, hopefully this is all I have to take loose from the, or at the tensioner. I'm really happy that I did this 2.4 to, or 2.7 to 3.4 swap. That's my first ever one. I had to change all the interior harness and everything, and well, yes, it would have been easier and nicer to do it with a Tacoma of the same year. Of course, that would have been lots easier. I didn't have that, and like everything here on the show, I'll definitely use what I got laying around the shop first before I spend any money. So, that being said, that's why I used what I used, because I had what I had, I did what I did, and I am what I am. Now, why is it stuck there and not moving? Oh, did I forget a bolt on the front, didn't I? Yep. Well, I've lost the key, so that's not helpful at the moment. Okay, found the key, bumped it, got that bolt loose, got this the adjuster loose. There is one more down here on the bottom of this piece. Remember from before in the power steering pump video, because I forgot. There we go. Now it's starting to fall off of there. Oops, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't have all that going and not going when it should have been, like I often do. I hope you got to see me get that compressor out of there. It was quite a struggle, and I had to move the power steering pump. But I guess we'll see where all that went. Had to take that power steering belt off anyway to get the AC belt on. So removing the whole pump was necessary from the motor. Not a big deal. I'm going to go play with him. We'll be back in a minute. All right, viewers, we're back on this where I was going to show you what I had to do to get that out. Man, there should be something on there like a timer and things that tell me when my camera's running. I should look out for that stuff. Now, I took the whole entire power steering pump loose. The whole pump comes out. Now, I had to hold it up and forward, and then I just slid it out this space back here. It fit just fine in its entirety, such as this right here. Sorry, we've got to play indoor games today. It's pouring down rain outside today versus the beautiful sunny 70s we had yesterday, but still warm. Still got shorts on. Still playing ball with the dog. All I got to do now is change that cap like I talked about. Now I'm going to change this out before I put the compressor back, even though it might be a little easier without it, because I don't think I'd have room to get this in when it's already in the vehicle. First thing I got to do is take these hoses off of here. Take your 3 RZ hoses and remove them from the scene so you don't accidentally mess up and put the correct or the wrong hoses back on your new compressor. Who would do something like that? I would. Not intentionally, of course. And again, these are keyed. I have a little pin that will only let them go in one place. A little wiggle jiggle usually gets them off of there. Set that one over there. And yeah, I could go to a bench and do this. People ask why don't I do it in a more organized fashion and more information. Sometimes I'm not trying to be an instructor. I'm just sharing what I do and how I do it. And it works so you can do it. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Making no other claims. So don't hold me responsible if you break a bolt. I didn't mean it. This is a 6mm that has a brand new silicone gasket on it. Okay. Now look at that, just lift right off of there as well. I don't know what that is. Blow off valve or something maybe. I'm not air conditioner savvy, to be honest with you. Taking my rag here, cleaning my finger. Oh, you can hear me. Not facing you. Well, I'm facing you, but I'm not looking at you. I'm going to just trust that brand spanking new gasket that came on there. Why wouldn't I? It's going tonight to pick up another thing, another parts vehicle most likely. But I'm getting one I think that has some really good things to offer. So as I strip them down now, that's my business, is like buying the junk ones that can't be fixed or beyond repair or something like that, and then getting all the good parts off of them. I can show you what good parts to get off of them too. And you know, if you see a vehicle that has something you need and you're like, damn, I wish I had those 5 parts, buy the whole vehicle. Take your 5 parts off and then turn around and sell it. Like the red one over there. That's what the guy did. He got what he needed. He sold some parts to recoup a little bit of his initial purchase price, and then he sold me the truck. He got what he needed. He sold the truck, sold some parts, bingo. That's how I like to build my stuff. That's how I build most every project I have. It's fun for me too to mess with the different vehicles and things. I'll need to change the O-rings out on those. So I'm not telling you to give up everything and start a business salvaging Toyotas or anything, but I'm not afraid of competition. If you're even in my area and you want to do it, there's so many of them out there. But do what you know, Yeah. There, isn't that sage advice and wisdom or something? You wouldn't want to miss that kind of stuff. I'm just putting that on because this was good, and mayhaps I can save it for a rainy day or another situation. Okay. Now on these things here with the O-rings, just use your pick to pop them off. I may have already showed you this, I may not have. Lay it down on your paper. I would have replaced that one on the compressor, but it was a brand new one anyway, so that seems kind of pointless. Lay your replacements right on top there. See? Boom. Maybe a little bit of difference because those have been smashed for a while. This kit comes with bunches of extras. Nothing better. Oh, there is things better than bunches of extra O-rings, but that's pretty freaking sweet also to have a bag of extras. So remember, when you bring your toddler to work, you have to clean up all your messes real quick. Like I threw that down, I'd have that lubricant, antifreeze, or whatever the hell it is in an air conditioning system. I'm pretty sure dogs aren't supposed to eat that. So yeah, remember to clean up your messes when you have little ones around that can't be responsible for their own actions. All right, now I hope you can see this is what you missed yesterday, only in the reverse. If I was going to leave these open, by the way, I'd tape those off or something. But I had to lift this up and forward into like the fan area as hard and high up as I could get it. And then fish this down in that particular fashion, like that. And then lift this up again. Arrgh, I'm stuck on the wire thing on a vacuum line. Hang on, I didn't have that before. Okay, there we go. And then lift and twist, and it's kind of like changing the starter on a 3rd gen. And voila! All right, next thing is those 4 nice long bolts. I like to clean the threads if they were messy, but these weren't, because I put this incorrect compressor on back on this engine in the first place. Don't forget, while it's still loose, to put one in the bottom lower. And it wouldn't hurt to put one in the front lower too, just because. Hang on, I'm going to put a bolt in that power steering pump here real quick. And voila, through the magic of video, and absolutely no fumble farting around with that, I got the bolt in. Don't forget to hook it over your tensioner that you took loose first. After you put that bolt in the bottom there, even though you can kind of get the front one in, I'm going to lift it up and add it right now. Those will not be a problem being in there. As you set this into place, grab a top one so you can see what I'm doing, not just the top of my head. All right, got one started. Got my 12 ratchet down here to run them in. I'll get this one. Nice thing about cleaning the threads, you can run them in by hand in places that's hard to get a ratchet down into. I'm going to get down in there with my ratchet and ratchet that back on. Just imagine that in reverse. But don't listen to the curse words backwards. I don't know what that would do for you. So don't forget to plug in your wire. This would be a good time to do that. All right. Doesn't matter which order or which one you put in first. I'm going to dump a little of this oil in the cap and apply it with my somewhat clean finger. I put a rag around it first. Alright, so I'm going to thread this end in the body. I don't know if that's out of camera or not, but that's where it attaches with the valve up, of course, for charging purposes. Alright, now oil up this bottom ring. Alright. Oh, the light might have been in the wrong place that whole time. Okay, so there you just line up the little pin and put the bolt in. So that one's that. That end goes out. And then I am going on the outside of that power steering return line. That one slid right into place with the oil on it. Bolt in. Don't forget to tighten it. It goes kind of like this with that pressure switch pointing sideways. A little fitment issue there, but I think Yes, a little tweaking. This is that sensor that it says is required. I'll just grab my Fitzalls and tighten those up. There should only be one plug that plugs into that, and that's it. And that's a pressure switch that the 4runner needed to have to make the AC work, as I understand it. So, short of tightening up 4 fasteners in there, it's time to move around to this front part right here. I'm going to tighten up them fasteners first so I don't forget. Okay, so it's time to get these put on. This one goes here. My tin. I got 6 10mm sockets as a Christmas present. It's one of the greatest Christmas presents, I tell you, because I use them all the time. And you know how the tin magically disappears. Okay, like I said, now let's move on to here. My kingdom for a tin. Yeah, do love my tins. I think I might have mentioned that even before, but seriously, that was such a great thing. Everybody that works out in the shop, if you don't have an idea for them, that's a dandy little plug there. Some 10mm sockets is always a winner. Alright, so now lubing up this O-ring here. And I'm going to reverse engineer the... Woo! Hey, I didn't know that would happen. If you did, and you were waiting, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget the power steering is still not tight, but that's not really part of this. Once you took it off, you know how to put it back on. And I'm going to reverse engineer that bracket. And I'm going to put all my stuffs together here in the place they're supposed to be on this dryer mixer thing. And they also will only go one way. Hey, look at that. Got it. This is my first time ever replacing a bunch of AC stuff, except for that control valve inside that's called the expansion valve. That's the only time I've worked with air conditioning other than here. Now my metal line here. And I know I'm going to have to tweak these a little bit. Oh, let me forget my oil. Okay, so that's got to bolt in this general area. This has to go down here where that blue port is. Take this real nice cap off. I don't think it'll go poof in my face again, but don't move my face. Now you can see in there that needs to go up like that just a little bit. So now I got to bolt all my stuff back up, put that center piece on. This line needs moved up into this area like here. I'll use that bracket. So now that I have that bolted on, I'll need to put this up, put the horns up, move this into its place. When I put that flat piece on the front again, this part, there's a clip that holds that. I will use this bracket on this. Yeah, just with that one right there, that will bolt that on. I do need to run a fastener up on the back side. So that's how the bracket goes. I don't have the charging stuff. I can't show you that part. If the guy who comes and charges it lets me video it, maybe I can. But that's how you put all your air conditioning stuff back in. That's how you do a 3RZ to 5VZ air conditioner swap. Don't be a dork like me and put the put the other stuff. He's so neglected today. He hates a rainy day. But anyway, yeah, that's how to do it. It'll be in the title. So now it just needs charged. It's all new stuff except the lines that came from a working unit. I don't see how those could be bad. I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm going to bolt the rest of this up, bolt the water, or the, pump back up the belt. You don't have to slide over the fan, just go over the bottom. There's a nut bolt adjuster. You loosen the middle of the adjuster. There's an up down like every Toyota belt. And that'd be the belt. I have to go get the belt. I thought I kept it with the other new ones I bought, but I haven't found it yet. And that's sometimes the way it goes. It isn't just 10s that walk away. So enough about this air conditioning thing. Super appreciate you joining Oswald and I out in the garage to do this. I really enjoyed doing it. I like learning stuff. Jump in and do it. That's how you learn. Get your job done. It's never going to be that hard. It's parts and bolts and wrenches and stuff like that, right? All right, so anyway, like if you liked it, subscribe please. If you want to see more, check links, leave comments, do those free things that help me out. I really appreciate it because it helps me support my show. Your support is huge and much appreciated. And even if you don't do any of those things but watch, appreciate you too. So thanks a lot for joining us. Have a super great day.